Good morning, everybody. This is Jackie from the Oracle Times, and this is the September 2020 forecast for Leo. I'm going to repeat as I always do. I record from the Bushveld in South Africa, which means it's beautiful. It's winter, and we have what is our normal winter's day here, which is sunshine. It's really gorgeous. But the downside of it is that my internet can be a bit dodgy at times, so I might disappear for a second or two. Please excuse me if I do. Hang in there. I'm back very shortly. I've had a good run of late. I haven't been disappearing. Also, if you'd like a personal private reading, I do an incredible soulmate reading. You can contact me via... Right, I should have touched wood before I said I haven't disappeared in a while. I'm back. Okay, let's get stuck into the reading, right? So I'm going to do oracle cards for you, Leo, and then I'm going to do some tarot cards and, of course, finish off with a relationship reading for those of you that want a relationship reading. So let's see, Leo, what is in store for you guys for the month of September 2020? All right, the readings have generally, so far for September, been very uplifting and very positive. So let's see what's coming up for you guys. And I looked up, okay, building blocks. So Leo, in September, you are busy setting the foundations for a new future. It could be an entirely new future. For some of you, that's your story. For others of you, some aspect of your life is changing. I know at least one Leo whose entire life has changed in the last few months. So they're probably now building on the foundations of their new life. And I know other Leos who are starting big projects that will definitely be, I think, life-changing in a way. So I think most Leos are probably building up something new in their lives. It's solid, okay? This shows a nice solid foundation. So whatever it is you're working on in September, know that it is creating a solid foundation for your future. Right, let's see what comes up next for you guys. And the next card up is Imagine. So take some time, and you may find yourself inspired to do so, especially after you've listened to this, to imagine what you'd like that future to look like. Now, I will always say, if you just imagine the objects, I want a car, and I want a big house, and I want whatever, it doesn't quite have as much power to draw in that thing if you imagine how you'd like your future to feel. So if you say, I'd like to have a car, then imagine the feeling of being able to get into that new car and go wherever you want to. Perhaps go on holiday in it, or have the comfort of it, or not have to worry because it's going to break down, whatever the case may be. Use your imagination to feel out what you'd like your future to be. If it's career goals, which for a lot of you it could very well be, spend some time imagining how you'd like that new career or the direction your career is going in to feel. Do you want to feel comfortable going into work every day? Do you want to feel inspired? Or do you want to feel like there are lots of goals to aspire to? Feel that out. It's going to be important to what kind of foundation that you're going to be creating. Okay, how we feel about things is very important at the end of the day. Okay, next card up is chaos and conflict. Like we've all been going through this at the moment. Some people more than others. Everybody's been feeling it. Why, you ask? Well, the reason is, have a look at the zebra. It's in a giraffe coat. It is not its authentic self. It's not living its authentic life. It's actually a zebra. So in comes all sorts of tumultuous things, challenges, you name them, in they come, to rid the zebra of its giraffe coat so it can be the zebra it is supposed to be. Now, that is what most of us have been going through at the moment. We somehow got ourselves on paths and into things that were not authentically us. Now, a lot of challenges were brought into our lives to make us double check, recheck, and look at where we are in life and the choices we've made, and to decide, is this really for me? Is it authentically me? So you're going to find maybe in September you have a few more of those challenges coming up to remind you about what is authentically you. Okay, I want to see what's the easiest route through those challenges, right? Besides being authentically you, the tribe. So what is important here is, where do you belong? Where do you feel at home? Where do you feel like you're surrounded by people that resonate with you? Now, this could literally be you've chosen to do a profession where you don't resonate with the people around you. Yet you do know something where you really get on with the people, or maybe you've got to find it. But I think when this card turns up, it's more likely you are going to be finding it in September. So for many of you, this could be the case. You find where you belong, where you feel authentic, where you are yourself. But you might be pushed there by something, okay? So when you are pushed by something, just remember, this is what's going to come up after it. You're going to find a place where you feel like you belong, where you can be a zebra, where you don't have to pretend to be a giraffe when you're actually a zebra. Okay, so just remember that when that challenge comes up, you're about to be pushed into a place where you feel like you belong, where the people understand you and you understand them. Right, let's see what your tarot cards have to say for you guys in September, Leo. And first card up for you guys, the Union. Okay, I'm not surprised this is coming up. So, what this signifies is often our hearts and our minds are at odds with one another. So now your mind will say, well, I should be an accountant. I'm just going to use an example. But your mind says, you know what, I love outdoors and I love being outdoors. Now, what happens in September, maybe it's that the chaos and conflict, that little bit of challenge that comes up that reminds you of what you're doing because your mind says it's the right things to do, but what your heart genuinely wants to do. But there's resolution in September. You find that middle point. You find that place where your mind will say, well, why don't you become an accountant for a forestry business? It's just an example. So you get to go and spend time outdoors, or your office is in a beautiful place that's got outdoors. It's that kind of thing. Okay, that's just an example. But you find that point of resolution in September. There is a coming together of what you feel you ought to do and what your heart wants to do. They come together, which is a brilliant place to do, because honestly, most of our lives we spend at odds with that kind of thing. And the next thing is desire. So this is interesting because this card will come up and it will say, check your motivation. Like I said, with why do you want a new car? Okay, if you want a new, I'm just using that as an example again. Something you truly desire, check its motivation. Not that the motivation is wrong. There's nothing wrong with the motivation. But you might have the wrong goal because the motivation is actually something else. You might want to have a lot more freedom. So you're thinking a car can bring you that. Maybe there's another way to get freedom. Maybe the car won't bring you freedom. It'll tie you down because you've got to pay it off. Maybe the freedom you're after, okay, is the genuine desire. So that's the question here. Why do you want what you want? And when you recognize what lies behind what you want, then you're going to find that resolution. You're going to find your heart and your mind will agree with what it is. Okay? And that's probably where you're going to find your tribe as well. That's going to be where you find the place that you feel you belong. Nice reading this. Interesting reading this. A real aha moment coming up, I think. Okay, so let's have a look at relationships. I'm going to read for those of you in relationships as well as those of you looking for relationships. I read what it says on the cards, otherwise someone will ask. And then I'll tell you the story that comes up with the selection of cards. Right, so first up for Leo September is this could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. So for those of you that are in relationships, you with that soulmate that you chose to spend some time of your life with. It might not be your entire life, but a part of it, definitely. So there may be a question for you. You may be feeling in September, is it or isn't it? Well, it is for now, okay? This is the person you chose. This is the soulmate. This is the person you know. For those of you that are looking for relationships, there's a very good potential among people you have already met. Now, you might bump into them again in September, okay? You might have met them before and they didn't quite resonate, but maybe the timing was wrong. Maybe you were in a different place, maybe they were in a different place. In September, you bump into them again, and this is the person you were looking for, okay? Right, let's see what else comes up here. I'm always curious when that card comes up. Children. Your love life is being affected by children. So if you're in a relationship with children, well, all of you that have had children have probably been homeschooling to a certain extent, and from the stories I've heard around me, it has been quite a challenge. Okay, so you could have found you and your partner are getting at odds with each other because of this challenge, but the bottom line is your partner is the one you're supposed to be with, regardless if the homeschooling has been a challenge, okay? That sort of comes up. I have a feeling for some of you that has been the case. For those of you that are looking for relationships, perhaps I hear childlike. I hear that spontaneity, that fun, that childlike attitude, that enjoyment of life is possibly what needs to be embraced here. And maybe that person that you've already met has that kind of attitude to life. Okay, that could be the key significant attribute that they do have. And maybe last time it didn't appeal to you, but maybe you should have a look at that, because it could very well be the thing that makes for a good relationship. That's the messages I'm hearing for you. Chemistry. There's a strong magnetic attraction here. So you're going to feel chemistry with this person. So that's how you're going to know. And they're going to have a light-hearted side to them, definitely a childlike, innocent side to them that enjoys life, that's spontaneous, that likes fun. That's for you, those of you wanting to meet somebody new. For those of you that are in existing relationships, the one that you chose, I think if you can probably use some of that childlike energy yourself and kind of get a little bit more spontaneous, a little more laid back. I know it's not easy at the moment, goodness me. But then you'll find that chemistry between you and your partner again. And it's not necessarily the chemistry that sparks. It's just the chemistry where you understand one another again, you feel you resonate with one another, you communicate well, you're a team. Okay, so that is the forecast reading for Leo for September, and I do hope you enjoyed it. I will just repeat again, if you'd like a personal or private or that incredible soulmate reading, please contact me via the link in the description box below. I'll be putting it up in a moment. That will take you to my website. Thank you for watching, listening, and liking. Thank you very much. And commenting and subscribing, I truly appreciate it. Sending you blessings and hugs for September. We'll speak again soon.